Good evening. Welcome to the May 12th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson. Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have minutes because we're getting audited currently by State Board of Accounts. So our clerk treasurer has been busy otherwise. So we get this at our next meeting. So that means department head reports. First up will be Chief Morgan, Police Department.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 889 calls for service. A total of 14 people were arrested for the following crimes: 6 for operating while intoxicated, 3 were wanted on warrants, 3 for driving while suspended, 1 for possession of meth, and 1 for domestic battery. In that same time frame, LPD took 31 crash reports and sent 2 gun permit applications off to the state for final approval. For training, May 2nd, Officer Jackson Bland completed Impact Munitions Instructor course. This one-day course trains law enforcement instructors on the proper use of less lethal impact munitions, such as beanbag rounds or rubber bullets, which are designed to reduce the chance of serious injury in high-risk situations. Officer Bland is now qualified to train other officers in the appropriate and lawful use of less lethal impact munitions after completing that course. April 29th to May 2nd, Lieutenant James Newland, Sergeant Grady Robertson, and Officer Tim Edmonds attended the Indiana SWAT Officers Association conference in Indianapolis. While there, they were able to attend multiple classes, including critical incident management, operational breaching solutions, making decisions in a condensed time frame, and intro to night vision operators course. May 5th to May 7th, Sergeant James Kuntz, Detective Austin McCloskey, and Officer Andrew Hampshire attended the 2025 Indiana Traffic Safety Conference in Bloomington. The officers were able to get recertified in DRE and SFSTs. They also attended classes on DUI enforcement strategies, HGN eye signs, and child passenger safety. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? From the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening. Very busy and eventful last 2 weeks at Lebanon Fire. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has responded to 150 emergency calls for service, logged 482 hours of training, participated in 1 public education event, and completed 90 commercial inspections. We have a lot of firefighter training. Spencer Kearns and Kurt Keller are now state certified as fire investigators. Jordan Johnson went to Tactical Extrication School. Blake Gaylor is in his Indiana Task Force 1 training session. He applied for and got one of the positions on Indiana Task Force 1. So now we have 2 members on the task force. Alex Knipp, Jerry Seymour, Jordan Johnson, Mark Brown, Jason Hendricks, and Matt Young all completed Project Lifesaver training. Hiring process update. We completed the ladder climb portion of the application process last Friday and Saturday, and we will have Board of Works interviews next week for our top 5 candidates. We will be filling 1 position due to retirement. And during the Lebanon High School Honors Night, Local 5195 and LFD were proud to award this year's Lebanon Professional Firefighters Association scholarship to our intern, Carly Adams. The intern program is wonderful, and we've been a part of it for about 7 years now. And Taylor O'Brien is our other intern, and he's the valedictorian this year. Just two remarkable young people. But Carly got the scholarship award, and she's just knocked it out of the park this year. And we're looking forward to see what her next chapter brings. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief and the board? From the public? Okay, thanks, sir. All right, next will be Parks and Recreation. John Messenger.
Good evening. Now that Mother's Day, I hope you both had a good Mother's Day, Tanya and Becky. Anyway, now that that's over, we can put some annual flowers in the ground. So you'll start seeing sprucing up Memorial Park and the beds downtown and the flower pots. We're going to spruce those up. Our maintenance crew has been working on the playground. We have 90 yards of certified playground mulch to install in the playground. Pool samples were submitted today. Boy, the waves were turned on, so spring is here, or summer, I should say. There again, we anticipate our opening day Saturday, May 24th, weather permitting. Hopefully it'll be a nice day, but we'll get those tests back soon, and hopefully we can open the splash pad depending on temperatures, and it looks like it's going to be a warm one, so hopefully we can get that opened up. New countertops are being installed. We're installing those at the end of the week at the concession stand. We have pool passes. They are on sale now and can be purchased online or in the parks office. I want to thank Liz Drury and Sue Gentry with DAR. They delivered our new military banners, which will be going up this week and installed in Memorial Park and also Main Street, along with the American flags. We'll put those around the borders of the park for Memorial Day. We installed a new metal roof at the hot pond. Finally, the weather cooperated. We got that done. Big thank you to Kiwanis for the monetary donation. They helped fund all the metal roof there, and I appreciate all their kind contributions. Programs and events. Lebanon kindergarten classes hosted their Touch a Truck event at Memorial Park this past Friday. Lots of different vehicles from throughout the city, including Lebanon Police Department, Lebanon Fire Department, the DPW, Lebanon Utilities, and county vehicles, and the kids honked every horn millions of times just to say, but they had a lot of fun, and it's really nice event, beautiful weather. The Megan Hammerly 5K was this past week, and they passed through Memorial Park. Nice turnout for that. A lot of that money is now going to scholarships through the
Foundation.
Matt Wilson, yes, the
Community Foundation.
mentoring program. Yes. There again, peace officers memorial downtown will be held this Thursday, May 15th. I believe that event starts at 4:30 to 6:30, right in there. This Saturday, we'll be hosting our all-staff water park orientation. It's a great time to get all our new staff together with our returners and get everyone ready for a week from Saturday opening. So it'd be nice. We always do that every year. It's nice to get everybody out and have quite a few new employees this year. Savor Lebanon, and I'm sure Joe will talk about it. It'll be happening this Saturday also downtown on the square, take place from 1 to 5. And Seashore Water Park will open for the season on Saturday, May 24th. Our Saturday hours are 11 to 6, and you can visit our website or call on or call the office or check the website, and that'll tell you where we go. That's all I had. Any questions?
Thank you, John. Questions for John from the board? And you said the splash pad might open before Memorial Day.
Yeah, well,
if the
just
weather-
keep an eye on our website. We got to get test results back, and the health department hasn't been out yet to inspect. And that goes through the state. I see no problems. We had waves going this weekend, and we introduced the water Thursday, got chemicals in it this weekend, and it was good to go this morning. So we ran them over to Delta to get it tested.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be Engineering Department, Kevin Kulik.
Thank you very much. Engineering report for this evening. Lots going on. Touch base on a few projects. Scrolling back to the top of the list. Regional detention. We had a good meeting today with our friends at the New Cold Corporation. to negotiate easement access through their site for our future regional detention projects, as well as not only the construction of that, but the long-term maintenance of that project. Jump down to road projects, Grant Street, Phase 2. As of earlier today, I'm sorry, I'm confusing projects. Sorry, Grant Street Phase 2, we were still working with NDOT. We had our quarterly meeting last week. This is scheduled for letting on July 9th. Everything is in order. All the paperwork has been filed. All of our reports have been certified. So basically at this point, we're just in the holding pattern until they open bids on July 9th. Working with our team at Crossroads on the inspection side, they've done constructability reviews, and we're just coordinating some minor tweaks to things with the design team at Butler Fairman on that. On the Elizaville Road project, happy to report Wilson Concrete is started out there on Friday doing some of the driveway repairs to wrap up that drainage project that was completed last year. We delayed the driveway improvements until spring so that we wouldn't have salt damage through the winter. So we're wrapping that up now and be done in a few weeks, and we can call that project 100% complete. The Fordyce Road project, lots going on over there. Drove through just before the meeting. Happy to see all the streetlights are up. The streetlights are also on east of Grant Street, and just be a few more days before they turn them on west of Grant Street. We're working on relocating all the meter pits and water services outside of the sidewalks and pathways. That should be done this week. And they're then falling back and working on all the driveways and sidewalks. Driveways and sidewalks will be poured today through the 22nd. On the 22nd or 23rd, they'll do the asphalt widening on the south side of the road, and then trail paving the week of the 27th. So we should have, and then we should have mainline paving on the street around May 30th. So we're looking at wrapping that project up right around the 1st of June, about 2 months ahead of schedule. So we're excited about that, but really excited to see those lights go up. It really changes the appearance of the corridor when you drive through. I recommend you taking a look. Witt Road from Lafayette out to Austin. As of this morning, we did file our stage 2 plans with NDOT, and we have been moving forward with right-of-way appraising and buying, all geared up towards a July 2026 letting on that project. Noble Street project, also discussed this at our quarterly meeting last week. Discussed the option with NDOT about possibly adding scope to the project, including a larger, more robust intersection improvement at State Road 39. Not sure we'll be able to move forward with that. It would require us to forfeit some funds that we've already been granted. So we'll probably continue the conversation on that front on our relinquishment project through the corridor study that was approved last month. Midland Trail planning, we've sent some revised scope suggestions back to our consultants there, hoping to have that back for you guys to consider. Hopefully before the next meeting, so we can get that planning project kicked off and start turning our sights from the Big Four to the Midland Trail. Let's talk about the downtown projects, the 180 makeover projects. Oaks on Main, there is a change order pending approval for later in the agenda of this meeting. This is just to really extend our contract and to provide some additional services to our contractor as the owners of the project have delayed their project, and we need electrical and plumbing services to be able to test our HVAC systems. So our contracts were limited to HVAC through the Ready Grant, but we can't test HVAC without working plumbing and electrical systems. So that's what that change order is about later in the meeting. I'll talk more about that then. The Lido building, the Collier's Corner building, essentially we're just waiting on final contract executions between us and the contractor, and then subsequent execution of contracts between the contractors and the owner so that we can move that forward. Those projects continue to move forward in the hands of the developer, though, at this time with other non-ready related work. Eichmann Exchange, we are working on getting all of our quotes, our requests for quotes, prepared for the ready scope of the project. Looking at the facade improvements on the north and west sides of the building. Really, that work will probably be limited in order to meet the ready deadlines of September 15th. Probably limited to lead mitigation, tuck pointing, and possibly some window replacements on the north side. Let's see, jumping out to park projects, Stone Eater Bike Park. We had a good meeting 2 weeks ago with some people from Hoosier Mountain Bike Association that walked the sites with us and with the Parks Department and gave them some assessments on some improvements needed to the skills trails, some maintenance related improvements. And they're having a working session with the same trail boss from HMBA tomorrow afternoon to look at those continued maintenance items as well. Pickleball court construction remains active at this point. Right now, we have surfaced all the courts. So they're in that cure period, that 2 to 4 weeks before we can put the final surfacing on. The final surface went down on Abner Longley Park today, and fence posts continue to be installed at Memorial Park. So we're on schedule there for an opening towards the end of the month. Abner Longley Park Fishing Pier had a report that that's been finalized. All the railings on the ADA ramp are now complete and accepted. Big Four Trailhead on Sam Ralston Road. We're having some conversations with Lebanon Utilities and their contractors about the LEAP projects that may require us to delay that project a little further just due to fear that it would be damaged if we went ahead and constructed it. The LU folks have already revised their designs to include boring underneath it, but the contractors is advising us that that's only part of the story. And to get equipment and the manpower and materials in to do all that work would put the trailhead at significant risk. So we'll probably delay that until the end of their project, which will include the resurfacing of a lot of the trail, as well as then the trailhead. But in the interim, because we've already built the portalet enclosure, we will probably be doing some minor sidewalk repairs over there just to make sure everything is up to code from an accessibility standpoint.
Hey, Kevin, before you go on, doesn't that cause issues if we used American Rescue Plan funds for the trailhead improvements?
Well, I think we've got enough other project improvements that we can slide some things around on other American Rescue Plan projects to cover those costs. And we did make trailhead improvements through the American Rescue Plan on that trailhead as well already. And we are planning to do some additional lighting installations there. So I think we're covered in terms of scope and how we have to spend the money.
Because those have to be done by the end of this year.
They do. So it would mean that the American Rescue Plan money would no longer go to that project. It would be allocated to other projects on our list.
Sorry, not to derail you, but
Nope.
you cover a lot and want to make sure I ask that question.
There's a lot to cover, so I understand. The Abner Longley Park perimeter path, which is also an American Rescue Plan money, where some of that money would be then spent. The phase 1 project is scheduled for asphalt later this week. And then we're looking at the phase 2 project that would also be there for it to take up any American Rescue Plan funds that weren't spent yet this year as may be needed. 312 Thompson Street, RFQs have been issued to 5 contractors for the demolition of those buildings, excluding the north building that will remain for Parks Department use, also where the mural from the eclipse was painted. Police Department projects, the new headquarters facility. There will be a presentation at the council meeting later this evening from the consultants that were working on that. Fire station projects, the BOT agreement has been finalized. Draft term sheets are being circulated for final comments and expected to be finalized this week and closed in the next 4 to 6 weeks, looking for construction to start in July. Generator replacement for Fire Station 12. We've been updated that the ship date for that generator is now July 2nd. So as soon as that comes in, that will be installed. DPW projects resurfacing program is kind of nearing completion. We're looking at this week and possibly going into next week. There's only about 7 days of total paving left to complete the project. And the forecast looks good, so we'll continue to push that through. LEAP district projects, really nothing to update there. CSX continues to be on site working on their crossing improvements at 375 and 450 North. And you've probably now all seen the construction of the new exit ramp at US 52 has started with work happening in the median on 65. And that is all I have.
That's it. All right. Any questions for Kevin from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, next up will be Planning Department, Ben Bottrigger.
Good evening, Board. Planning Department over the last couple of weeks completed 126 building inspections, so still seeing very regular construction activity, inspection activity over the last couple of weeks. 30 building permits were issued, and this is the first 2-week period in a long time where we did not have a new single-family home permit. I'm not terribly surprised with our available inventory of lots starting to get a little bit constricted here, but that will certainly change as we get later in this year after we're able to release some of those residential neighborhoods. But certainly seeing the inventory of residential lots started to get to the point where we're seeing some a little bit slower activity on the single-family residential front, but still really good activity on other projects and commercial industrial projects. So good there. On the education side, a couple of staff members were able to attend the Indiana American Planning Association spring conference that was last week in Madison, Indiana. That's a good chance for our folks to interact with people in other communities around the state and understand what's going on there and attend sessions related to the same sorts of things. So good we're able to send a couple of people down for that conference. On the project front, the comprehensive plan is nearing completion, anticipated to get for adoption this evening at the council meeting. Once that document is adopted, then we'll move to the last phase of that project, which would be an update to the comprehensive plan website. And we'll be working with our consultants to do that over the next month or so. So that project is nearing completion. So I'm happy to see that done. It's been 5 years since we last updated the comprehensive plan, but a lot of things have happened in that time. So good to get that updated for moving forward. On the code enforcement side, as I anticipated, activity has picked up significantly now that we're into the springtime. The investigative activities have almost doubled since the last 2-week period in terms of inspections and re-inspections, communications and notices issued. New cases went from about 30 to 80 over the, so again, seeing a lot of additional complaints coming in. And as I expected, weeds and grass is the highest number of complaints we got the last couple of weeks. So we're definitely getting out and taking care of those as quickly as possible. We've actually got a rotation now. We've got one guy that's out in the field basically following up on all the complaints we get. And Makeda is pretty much just churning out letters from the office when she gets information back from him. So a lot of activity there, but we got a pretty good process in place for that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? The public? All right, thank you, sir. All right, next up, the Public Works Department, Scott Calvert.
Good evening, Board. I have a report for the Department of Public Works. Start with the Street Department. We completed our first brush week this last week. They replaced several signs, and they also assisted. We're working on the square as they're cleaning the drains and repairing the pavers with new sand. We pulled off of that last week so we could allow all the happy people of Boone County to pay their property taxes. So we will be resuming that this week. Stormwater Department, they responded to 300 utility locates, and they rebuilt and demoed and rebuilt several stormwater structures. I'm also like to tell you, I'm implementing a stop bar painting program, so you'll start seeing the results of that this spring. We'll be working on the areas that need it the most and then expanding. The Inspection Department, we had 7 SWIP inspections, 10 right-of-way inspections, and responded to 6 complaints. Brush week for next month will be June 2nd through the 6th. And then I just want to touch on roads and paving because that's a big thing right now. Tomorrow, Kokosing and Lebanon Utilities will be working on Lafayette, Chicago, and Williams. These will be very short, no road closures to get those ready for our paving project. Our paving project is scheduled to start Wednesday. That'll be on those roads. Also Noble, so that's like 7 days of milling and paving. Once again, should be a lane open with flaggers. And then on the end of the week, the developers at Angeli Gardens will be milling and repaving Angeli Way. And that's also to be done with the lane open and flaggers. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions for Scott from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, communications and community development, Joe LePage.
It's difficult to say because I haven't been playing hooky the last couple of meetings, but obligations to the high school are no longer existing and have wrapped up. So back and good to be back up here giving my report. So begin and keeping it brief. Communications department has been busy like a lot of our other departments as well. All of them, in fact. Our office has been teaming up with several others within the city to be able to have different block parties throughout our city. And the first one's coming up in early June. We're starting on the southwest side of the city. So it's been great to be able to work with various departments to be able to raise the quality of life and also neighborhood awareness with a lot of different neighborhoods within our city. And so first one, southwest side, then we'll move around the city as well. Also, I've been working deeply with our Lebanon Arts Council for their upcoming Color Our World Brick Building Battle coming up on Saturday, June 28th. That's at the library from 9 a.m. until 2. You'll hear more about that in the days and weeks to come. Also, we're wrapping up our Lebanon Story booth, deciding between a design that is either painted and or wrapped. And so that will still be unveiled at Boone County Summerfest on May 30th and 31st. Speaking of Boone County Summerfest, kind of getting and priming the pump a little bit, I'll be asking for 2 different street closure requests later on in this meeting this evening, one for Savor Lebanon, the other one for Boone County Summerfest 2025. As you know, we have tried to level up this year's event. We're adding pickleball on Saturday morning. So on Friday evening, the Janeways, who you'll hear in an upcoming episode of our Love in Lebanon podcast. I know you're all deeply invested in that podcast. The Janeways open up for the Flying Toasters. And then early on Saturday morning, the 31st, is a pickleball tournament where DJ Millennium will be spinning some tracks. And then Jay Baker will follow later on in the day, and then wrapping up with Chase Wright, who grew up in Lebanon, went to Lebanon High School, went to DePaul, now lives in Nashville, realizing his dream of being a country music star. And so he's got a couple hits you may have heard of and several others that are on their way. And so he'll be there for that, be asking for that street closure request later on this evening, along with Savor Lebanon. And then finally, want to get bid farewell to our 2 interns. Lauren Argate wraps up this week. She's with us Monday, Wednesday, Friday of this week. And then last Friday, Zara Z was able to wrap up her last internship day as she would have wanted. Chief Batts allowed her to go with the rest of the guys and gals and be able to take part in some training. And so we appreciate all the departments loving on our 2 interns. Sad to see them go, but they both have bright futures and can't wait to see what they do next week. And so we appreciate their hard work and diligence, learning the tricks of the trade, audio, visual, photography, all those things. So a couple great kids, and may have a few more interns next year to bring your way, but they've been doing great work. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? From the public? All right, thank you, sir. All right, next item up here, this will be a quick one, old business. We have a contract change order for the pickleball courts, and then we'll do all the street closures, don't worry.
Thank you very much. This was tabled at the last meeting because I needed to get some additional information before we could consider this one. So I have 2 change orders related to pickleball courts. Change order number 1, we had some of this information before you and has been updates over the last few weeks, but this has now been finalized. Those change orders were originally, there was preliminary approval for this change order related to undercutting, but that was on a time and material basis. So we're bringing this back before you with the final quantities. So you can see that this had undercutting. There were some additional courts added to expanded the courts to accommodate some fencing between the pickleball courts. So that is also in here. And And so this is basically for the undercutting and the fact that the courts got a little larger. So this is change order 1. These are the actual quantities now based on that preliminary approval not to exceed. And this is for $204,304. Change order number 1 for Globe Asphalt Paving Company, again, for $204,304.
Questions on that from the board?
Have that defined.
Yes. So you can see down here that brings the total to 734,000, and our total allocation for all pickleball courts was 805,000. So just spending more of our contingency money here.
Question on that from the board? All good? Okay, with that, then we'd hit a motion to approve
I'll
change.
make a motion, we approve the change order for the pickleball courts in the amount of $204,340.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All fair side.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. You said another one as well, Kevin?
Yep, change order number 2. Change order number 2 has 3 main items. One, you mentioned the unsuitable soils, poor drainage at Memorial Park. So we decided it would be best while we're doing this to add an underdrain system around the perimeter of those courts, just to extend the life of those and make sure we're doing things the right way. So that is $27,560. We were scheduled just to reinstall lights there. We thought it would be nice to paint those. So there's a quote then to electrostatically, the poles are going to be new, but the light fixtures themselves were not going to be painted. So $975 to electrostatically paint 8 light fixture heads. And then I love these kind of change orders down at Admiral Longley Park. In lieu of removing the existing asphalt, we're doing what's called a slip sheet. It is a method by which we add a small curb around the perimeter of the tennis courts. We then have a 2-inch layer of stone between the old courts and the new courts. That is that slip sheet that will prevent any cracks that might have been in the existing court from radiating through. But prior to making sure that that would be viable, we did proof roll the courts. We did some testing on the courts to make sure that the existing courts were solid and are a solid base to do this operation. We were happy with the results there, but we're really worried about the full excavation that we were going to get into, another $200,000 change order on these courts. So that's why we went forward with this. It doesn't change our guarantees or our warranty on any of the work. Courts are going to be the same size as they were before. They'll just be approximately 6 inches higher, but this also includes bringing in topsoil to regrade around those so there's no trip hazard off the edge of the court. So that is a negative $16,680. So when you add all those together, change order number 2 is for $11,855. Again, brings our total contract sum to $746,695, well below the $805,000 budget that we have for the project.
Questions or concerns on that from the board? Okay, entertain a motion to approve change order number 2.
I make a motion, we approve change order number 2.
Motion approves. Our second? Second from Judge. All fair side.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those are approved. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. All right, that concludes old business for me. Anything from the board? Okay, new business then. First item up is a street closure request concerning Law Enforcement Memorial Day. Officer Dunn?
Hello, I'm Brad Dunn. I'm a detective at the Sheriff's Office. I've been in charge of the police memorial this year. I'm asking for a road closure on Washington Street from Lebanon Street to Meridian and Meridian to Main from 4:30 to 8 on May 15th, this Thursday. Simple ceremony, lasts about an hour. We'll have some police vehicles up there for the public to walk around and look at, and I believe LPD is setting up a small public relations booth. Ceremony will be about an hour, and we'll clean it up and be gone. Riley Bennett will be bringing up his food trailer for food. That's about all we're doing.
You said it's May 15th, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, and then 4:30 to 8 gives you enough time for setup and.
Yes.
Close
Yeah,
trailer,
we
all
were
that?
bringing the vehicles up. It's just a matter of just putting everything in place. Max Mendenhall will help with the courthouse side on getting the sound and all that set up for us out there on the east side. Chief Batts is hanging the American flag on the east side of the courthouse. And getting the police vehicles in place won't take very long, and cleanup would be pretty quick.
Okay. Any questions, concern with that from the board? Okay, entertain a motion to approve the law enforcement Memorial Day street closure request.
I'll make a motion, we approve as presented.
Motion approved as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is a street closure request from the Lebanon Police Department. Officer Carlson.
Good evening. My name is Sergeant Carlson with Lebanon Police Department. I am our department's coordinator for the Boone County Traffic Safety Partnership, or project as it's called. That consists of agencies from all over Boone County working as a team for traffic enforcement. Year long, we enforce for impaired drivers, speed enforcement, distracted driving, stop arm violations, seatbelt enforcements all throughout the year. As a requirement for that, this year we are required to do a DUI checkpoint, and we decided to try to host one here in Lebanon. And our decision collectively was to host it here on Lebanon Street at Superior Street, use the city parking lot as kind of an interview investigation area. But with that, I'm requesting Superior Street from Lebanon Street to Meridian Street to be closed on this date, which is Friday, May 23rd. Superior Street will be used for our temporary investigating of vehicles at a random interval, no more than 2 minutes. Once the drivers are interviewed, they will then leave on Meridian Street, either north, south, or east on that road, least intrusive as possible. Requesting the closure between 6:30 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. on Friday, May 23rd.
So what is it you're going to inspect?
What happens is we will have officers on Lebanon Street, and say every third vehicle, fourth vehicle, whatever is determined prior to us starting the checkpoint, those vehicles then will be directed onto Superior Street. Once on Superior Street, a no more than 2-minute interview with that driver. We will talk with them, ask for insurance, license, registration, like a normal traffic stop. If we detect nothing from them, they go on their way. If they need further investigating for possible impairment, then they will be transferred over to the parking lot, the city lot just adjacent to Superior Street for further investigating.
You said again, that's May 23rd?
Yes.
From 6:30 to 1 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. 1 or 1:30?
Oh, sorry, 1:30.
1:30, okay, thank you.
And that ending time depends on the traffic flow. It may be done earlier. It just depends on what the traffic flow looks like at that time.
Further questions on that from the board? Okay, entertain a motion to approve the closure request from the Lebanon Police Department.
Approve the Lebanon Police Department's request for the closure of Superior Street, May the 23rd p.m. to 1:30 a.m.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Officer Carlson.
Thank you.
Okay, next up will be a street closure request from the Ferris Wheel Music Studio. Megan?
Short person. Hello. So I am Megan. I'm from Ferris Wheel Music Studio and Store, and I'm asking for road closure in front of my store on June 14th from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. In order to have an event running from, sorry, all words just left my brain, from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. It is a celebration of music, but more than that, I am in talks with a few other businesses in town, plus a non-for-profit about starting a scholarship program for the youth of Boone County to be able to take music lessons, dance classes, art classes, and this will be a fundraiser to go towards that, and hopefully continue on through the years as we can help with our youth.
So what are the exact boundaries of the closure?
The boundaries will be from Meridian Street to the alley.
The alley, so the half block.
And I already have Presbyterian approval for their park as well. So it'll be just that little square area.
Perfect. All right. Any questions on that? It's half block between Meridian and East Street. You said June 14th?
June 14th, yes.
Okay, 8 to 5 p.m. Entertain a motion to approve as presented. Oh, sorry.
Make a motion, we approve the street closure as presented.
Motion, is there a second? Second from Dick. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. Thank you very much. All right, next up will be a street closure request for the Tricapa Strawberry Shortcake. Apologies on the agenda, not shortcut, shortcake sale. Sorry about that.
Liz Drury, I'm a member of Tricapa. I was at the Pacer game last night, so I have no voice left, so that's why I sound this way. Anyway, I think it's classified incorrectly. We're not requesting the street closure. This is a collaboration between Tricapa and Rotary. We've done this for over a decade. We set up, it's this first Friday of June, June 6th, and we do it in conjunction with the hoagie sale from the Lions. And essentially, it's, we're raising money for scholarships and other service projects here in our community. And so we just want use of the plaza area. We get tables from the courthouse to set up. We just have a little pop-up tent and we will be there. Generally, we set up about 10:30. We sell strawberry shortcakes from 11 to 1 and we're cleaned up and out of there. We leave the space looking like it did before around 1:30. We go till we sell out. Usually doesn't take too long. So
fair enough.
Anyway, that's what I got.
So it's really just, and this is both you and the Lions Club, and it's just the plaza area there on the east side of the square.
Yeah, and we set up our pop-up tent there, and the flow of traffic is flowing normally on that street on the east side of the courthouse. And we don't require the tables even, right? Like the public comes and eats their shortcakes on the table. So we have our own tables that we set up, and we try to, still let the community have use of it.
Yep. Questions or concerns? We'd be in trouble if we didn't approve the hoagie and shortcake sale. So got time for a bear here, Liz. All right. With that, then, would entertain a motion to approve the plaza closure as requested.
I'll make a motion, we approve the
Motion approves. There a second?
Second.
A second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Liz. Okay, a few more of these closures. Next up is a request from Communications Department, Summerfest, Joe LePage.
I have Summerfest and I have Savor as well. So I'm happy to begin with Summerfest. Again, that's coming up on May 30th and 31st. The street closure request, full transparency, is a little bit confusing, and there's just because we're adding something new to it this year. So I've tried to lay it out on the event map, kind of giving you a run of show for what this event is. In previous communications reports, talked about leveling up our event, and that's what we're trying to do here. So just like in years past, at 9 a.m., the stage will arrive at the corner of Washington and Meridian. The traffic and spaces for all courthouse employees and anybody that's shopping downtown will not be affected. However, that intersection will be a bit cumbersome, and so we'll have cones and barriers out there so folks can be able to navigate around our courthouse square and being able to do their normal business on Friday, May 30th, no street closure requested for them. Then as soon as 4 o'clock ends and folks from the courthouse are leaving in the annex and those things and they're vacating the spaces, that's when we'd like the closure to take effect on Washington Street from Lebanon Street 39 all the way to East Street. And then Meridian Street, kind of the half block that's there and the half block towards the top of the map here. We utilize the back library parking lot with their permission for the bands and the setup crew to be able to park there, as well as the distance between the stage and those barriers. So that's where the acts will be parking, setting up, all those things. And so that's where that will be the half block there, as well as down to the south along Meridian Street as well. As we talked about, pickleball is being added this year, and we want to keep it off the main event area to create as little impact as possible. And so early first thing on Saturday morning, we'd like to have that closure take place along Main Street. And so Main Street from Lebanon Street 39 all the way to east, there'll be 5 total temporary pickleball courts that will be set up. And so for open play, there'll be a tournament. There'll also be lessons there as well. So if you're wanting to be involved in the tournament, that as well as lessons will cost you, but open play is free. So you can come and play pickleball in downtown Lebanon. Great outdoor temporary courts. If you ever played on this particular brand, they play really well. If you do play pickleball, it's pretty true to an asphalt normal surface. And so we'll have that take place during the day. 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. is when we'd like that street closure request to take place. Our scouts are once again helping us out with this event, as well as Savor that I'll be talking about later, but they will be helping to set up the courts and tear them down quickly because the live music begins at 6 o'clock. And so they'll all be gone. The street will be able to be traversed by near Greeks and near the Chop House and all those things. And so those spaces can be utilized for the event. 11 p.m. is when our Meridian and Washington Street closures, we'd like those to end. Event wraps up at 10. Our scouts are going to help us be able to kind of get everything all open back up. And we're hoping to have that done by 11. It does take a while longer for that stage to be taken down. It is hydraulic. There's a whole bunch of audio equipment that is taken out. And so that takes a little bit longer. But we want to have the road open as quickly as possible. All of our folks that have come with us in the past to have food or artisan items for sale know the drill. And so all those things will be kind of put into practice. It's kind of a well-oiled machine at this point, with the exception of the addition of pickleball on Saturday morning. So that's why it was, sorry, it's a bit convoluted, but at the same time, it's a big event and it takes up a lot of space and moving parts.
Any questions on that for Joe from the board?
How does that affect 1830? Is that going to affect their business at all?
We're hoping it will augment it because we're adding the pickleball to help with the vendors that are currently set up, and we wanted to take things down. We've already talked to the pickleball organizer, and we're planning on the pickleball folks staying for lunch and being able to hang out right there, and whether it's pizza or whether it's the Chop House or whether it's our retail establishments, being able to kind of mingle and just kind of hang out. That's kind of the way the pickleball atmosphere is. When you're not playing, you might as well go into this shop or that shop, or you have a couple hours before you play your next match, maybe grab something light and be able to have some food items available. And so we want, and that there's no barriers there. There's no worry about alcohol sales. And so they can go in and out of all of our downtown establishments.
Plenty of freedom. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve Summerfest street closures as presented.
Make a motion, we approve the Summerfest road closure as requested.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All fair say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Joe. And Savor Lebanon now.
Savor Lebanon in its 9th year in downtown Lebanon. I will give you the event map here. This is the same event the same map rather, that was approved last year. The musical acts are switched up a little bit, but it is still exactly the same. It is taking place this Saturday on May 17th from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. And so the street closure request that I'm kind of the middleman here between Indiana On Tap, which is the organization running this event, and in collaboration with the city of Lebanon. They're asking for a 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. street closure for that Saturday. And so you can see the streets affected there. We're keeping the alleyway to the east completely passable, couple corners or couple sides rather of the courthouse square. Again, this is kind of a well-oiled machine. All 9 years have not been downtown, but the ones that have kind of taken on this kind of layout and have gone pretty seamlessly. We've had a great collaboration with our Department of Public Works. The red line that you see going all the way around is put up by our Department of Public Works. And so they do an amazing job of being able to do that. And then we also compensate our scouts to be able to take down all those barriers on Saturday after the event is over with. And so the event runs from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m., asking for that street closure from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Any questions on that from the board? Can't believe it's been 9 years. That's, wow.
Time flies, doesn't it? Remember when it was at the 4-H Fairgrounds in February?
I still like my February.
February.
All right, it's okay, though. All right, with that, this is for the questions. Entertain a motion concerning the Savor Lebanon closure.
What's the date again, Joe?
It is this Saturday on May 17th, and I forgot to mention, and I'm glad you asked, Bill, they have complimentary tickets for city folks because of our collaboration. So if anyone that's a city employee would like tickets, just send me an email. They are complimentary, and so going to that event, it's a tasting event. It's a chance to kind of hang out downtown and enjoy that space. So thanks for bringing that up. This Saturday, May 17th.
Okay, thank you.
Are we making a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the street closure request for the Sabre Lebanon.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. Thank you, Joe. All right, that concludes our street closure requests. As you can tell, the weather's getting warmer and people are doing fun things downtown and outside. Next item will be the surplus items or 3 vehicles from DPW. Scott.
So we have 3 vehicles. These are the last 3 vehicles the city owned in the street department and public works. So Bill has this information. These are going to be traded in on future leases. I have a 2013 GMC, 2015 Ford F450, and a 2017 Ford F550.
I might also say this brings the Public Works, Stormwater and Street Department 100% lease. We own no more vehicles.
Okay, very good. It's been a long time to get there. Any other questions from the board concerning the surplus request? Okay, entertain a motion then to declare the 3 vehicles as presented surplus.
I make a motion, we approve the surplus vehicles as presented.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be a contract change order concerning Oaks on Main.
Thank you very much. I mentioned this in my report. This is a change order concerning our 180 makeover projects, particularly associated with the Oaks on Main project. So Dilling Group is our contractor there, and their scope is limited to HVAC. Given the delays in the owner's project and the uncertainty there, we've had to delay our project. It was originally contractually supposed to be completed by February. So we're extending it to June 1 to account for that extra time. And then also there is $1,702 associated with labor and materials for some of the work that our contractor is going to be doing regarding these scopes that are external to HVAC associated with the hookup of plumbing and electrical on their equipment.
And just as a reminder, these are actual grant dollars from the state. They aren't necessarily local dollars with this, but we hold the contract. It's very muddy and confusing, but it's actually not city dollars that are approving this work.
Correct.
Just want to clarify that.
And this is not this change order, although it's an increase in dollar amount for the contractor. Their bid came in under the prescribed grant amount from the state. So this is well within the total grant dollars that were allocated to the project.
Any questions on that? We entertain a motion then to approve the Oaks on Main change order request as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve the change order for the Oaks on Main.
Motions, or a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. All right, and next will be a change order request concerning Fordyce Road.
Thank you very much. Last one for the evening. This is on Fordyce Road from Milestone Contractors associated with some additional seeding work. This is seeding along the frontage of the new elementary school. So the reason we have to do this is that there is not, our contract does not include sort of traditional sowing seed and straw mulch. All the disturbed areas that were in the project are to be sodded. So that is what we're doing on all the residential properties. On the school's property, we are sodding the area between the path and our back of curb. But because the school did seed on their property, it only seemed to make sense that behind our path, tying into the seed that the school district had planted, the school corporation had planted, that we would seed. but we don't have a contract line item for seed. So that's what this is creating. This is for that seed. I would say there'll be actually be a larger negative to the contract for sod that we would not be placing within the right of way. But this is a unit price contract, so we just won't be billed the full quantity of sod. But we have to add this into the contract to create the seeding line
So
items.
it really is a cost savings in the long run, but it's not. We need to add this in there initially because we won't know the sod until the end.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense to everybody? Okay.
Also well within our budget and our contingencies that we have in place, so no additional funding is required.
Okay. With that then, entertain a motion concerning the Fordyce Road change order. Is there a number on that one?
I think we're number 12.
Change order number
Sorry, it's
12
not-
on
The
that
number's not listed on there, but.
Change order number 12.
I'll make a motion that we approve change order number 12 on Fordyce Road seating for $4,128.09.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, sir. All right, and last but not least, I have Boone RMC and Lebanon Utilities joint petition to modify service area boundaries. Jeff Jacob.
Good evening, Board. Before you this evening is as the mayor mentioned, a joint petition to exchange electric service territory with Boone REMC. I was in front of you earlier this year, I believe, with a similar request. This one, however, comes from REMC. As you may or may not be aware, they are expanding their current operations on Indianapolis Avenue. The basis of this request, if you may or may not be aware, as Mr. Stoner and Mr. Robertson and the mayor are aware, earlier this year, the City Council and Utility Board voted to remove the electric utility from the Indiana Regulatory Commission's jurisdiction. However, the IURC still retains jurisdiction over a variety of issues like service territory. Which is the petition that you have, the basis of the petition that you have in front of you. If we look at the specifics of the petition, as you may be aware, Boone REMC on Indianapolis Avenue is expanding its office and its operations at its current facility. And they have come to the utility as part of that permitting process and asked the utility for permission to serve the adjacent site in its expanded operations. There is an old informal agreement that predates me that allowed Boone REMC to serve this site, despite it being within Lebanon Utilities territories. We certainly understand that. The utilities want to service their own equipment and facilities. And so this petition would formalize that service territory and expand it into their expanded warehouse storage facility. In exchange for that, Lebanon Utilities would receive territory on its. Here's REMC territory, here's Lebanon Utilities territory. This is I-65, Harney is about right here. The wastewater treatment facility is to the east, and all triangle piece along the railroad that Lebanon Utilities is going to significantly expand a lift station to service the LEAP area. There is also a billboard that's located in that area. You'll note the black in this. That's a billboard that's served by a third-party ratepayer customer of REMC. They have been notified of the potential of this petition. While we don't have all the specifics of what REMC's expansion and what their electric usage would be, we have a pretty good idea of what ours will be at the expanded lift station site. And by all accounts, we believe that this is a good financial decision for Lebanon Utilities. And it also recognizes that the utilities like to serve their own facilities and equipment. One item you'll note in the petition, the dates are stale. And what we tried to do, the REMC Council and my office, we tried to provide the Office of the Utility Consumer Counselor advance notice of any filings. The OUCC is a state agency that represents ratepayers and their interests. So we try to afford them some informal time to review a petition, given that this is a joint petition, and we have signed off on the REMC's ability to move forward with their construction. There wasn't a good degree of urgency, so we did not push the OUCC to respond. We have recently heard from them and felt it time to throw this petition in front of you for your blessing. Should you approve the filing of the petition, which the Utility Service Board has done, we anticipate proceeding with the filing and updating those dates this week. Happy to answer any questions.
So on the other map, the RMC site, so I didn't see any yellow, right? So we completely surround, so they're on like an island there serving themselves at their own site.
That's correct. And that is an old agreement that predates certainly you and I, where REMC and I believe Mayor Acton informally agreed during the annexations in those areas to allow REMC to serve its own site. As they're expanding, we felt it prudent to formalize that and that we wanted to pick up some territory of our own. So you're absolutely right. It's an island, and the OUCC may point that out and have a little bit of an issue with it. It's really Boone REMC's request, and we're happy to accommodate that. If the IURC has a problem with it or OUCC, we'll have to adjust from there. But REMC has done the legwork on this. It's been their request, and we felt that it was a good relations move between the utilities to accommodate the request. Additionally, we're picking up what we believe to be a good trade, frankly.
IURC hasn't said anything to this point, right?
We have not formally filed the petition with the IURC because we've been waiting on the OUCC, their informal review. We haven't pressed them. We sent this to them some time ago, and they literally just responded late last week. So
Okay, good.
They haven't weighed in one way or the other. They've just acknowledged the petition. Any other questions?
Questions, concerns? I would say I understand why they want it. It's within the city, but again, I understand we're trading, and so that makes it okay, but I just question having a service islands. I think that makes challenges for us, but is what it is. It's their system. They have to figure out a way to serve it, so.
Yeah, and Mayor, I certainly understand that, and there may be some pushback. Who knows? There was an old letter agreement from Mayor Acton addressing this issue. They are currently serving that site.
Yeah.
And, I thought it would cause confusion where you have a joint site and different meters. And so this is probably cleaner in the long run, given the hand that we have.
Can we have something in the agreement that if it changes use away from the RMC, it would revert back to the city? Is that possible?
I'm not aware that has been done in IURC filings. That would take some wranglings because it causes changing some maps. I would be certainly happy to float that request, but I'm not aware that would be done, and would probably, I really think that might, with the installation of equipment and facilities to serve that site, it may cause more heartburn in the long run should there be a new owner.
I'm just trying to think like 20 years down the road, right, or something. If the RMC moves locations to not in this city, somewhere else, right? This owner's like, well, why am I an RMC, right? They may not know the history of this, and that's just where
Yeah, we're certainly happy to explore that informally, Mayor, if that's suitable, outside the petition. And there are informal agreements like that between the utilities around the city that there were some that I've inherited that I've been aware of, much like this one.
Yep.
And so we're happy to address that, hey, we would prefer that. Their request is going to be the same. And I know that we're going to have some significant infrastructure going into that area. So,
Well, I don't think we're ever going to sell that though, but I mean.
And I might say the utility service boards had the same questions. that you brought.
yeah, but it does come to you with their recommendation and approval. So, but I appreciate and understand the issue. So, and Mayor, there is the ability for a consumer or ratepayer to petition to have that changed.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there
Well,
is
if that
that-
avenue is available, then that's okay. That's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my request is for the board's approval to proceed with the filing of the joint petition in front of the IURC.
Any final questions on that from the board? Is there a motion to approve the joint petition to modify service area?
I'll make a motion, we approve the joint petition to modify our.
Okay. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. That is approved.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jeff. All right. That concludes what I have for new business. Anything from the council? Board, excuse me, the board. All right. None. Seeing none, we'll move on to claims. Would entertain a motion concerning the claims?
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims.
Motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Dick. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion from the board? Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion, we adjourn.
Motion adjourns. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, our next Board of Works meeting will be Tuesday, May 27th at 6:15 PM. We are adjourned. Redevelopment Commission is up next.